the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Partly cloudy skies hang over the DMV, but there's also a warm-up. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us now with the latest check on the forecast. Damon, as expected.
Hey, Mark, come on. We got the sunshine. We got those temperatures on the rise. It's turning out to be a pretty nice day behind a cold front that passed through last night that brought a few light rain showers to some of our northern counties here in the DMV. But that's the key word. These rain showers were brief. They were light. And there you go. We only amounted up to around 1/10 of an inch across most of western Maryland, back over toward the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. But locations to the south really didn't see any rain at all. Most of Virginia back into DC, southern Maryland stayed totally dry as that front came on through last night. And here it is, setting up just off to our south. It's not really going to move much more for the rest of the day today. And because that front is still hanging out nearby, yes, we will have plenty of sunshine at times through the afternoon, but we'll also have plenty of time with the clouds on occasion. There is a wave of clouds passing through West Virginia, moving into the DMV here, and that's going to be the cloud cover that will stick with us, but it will not have an impact on those temperatures. Most of us are already well into the 70s, and before the day is done, we are going to see peak temperatures upper 70s to lower 80s by that 3 to 4 o'clock hour. So nice and warm, but still decently comfortable. A beautiful day to get out and about if you would like to. Now, are we going to keep this warm trend rolling on through the rest of the week? Is there any more rainfall in the forecast anytime soon? We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. Taking a live look at St. Peter's Square. Cardinals are meeting at the Vatican today. The late Pope's funeral is set for this Saturday at 10 a.m. And they will also start planning the conclave to elect his successor and make other decisions about running the Catholic Church as people across the world grieve the pontiff's death. First order of business determining when his body can be moved into the St. Peter's Basilica for public viewing. Pope Francis died yesterday morning at the age of 88. He was the first pontiff from Latin America, defined by his humility and concern for the poor. And rector of the National Shrine in Washington, Monsignor Walter Rossi, reflecting on the legacy Pope Francis leaves behind.
The Pope's legacy is that he is the Pope of the poor, the Pope of the marginalized, the underprivileged. He's also what I'm going to call a reformer Pope, because he made a lot of changes to the way the Vatican is run, the way the church is run.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of Catholics called the DMV home, and many found their way to the Basilica to pay their respects. They filled the pews to pray for Pope Francis when he visited the Basilica 10 years ago. 25,000 people crowded North America's largest Catholic church to get a glimpse of him. Cardinal Christopher Pierre is the Pope's personal representative here in the U.S. He spoke about Francis's impact.
We live in a world which, in some way, is so much in love with itself, its idea, its ideology, and has lost the sense of hope. Thank God for Pope Francis.
The Basilica's bells tolling 88 times yesterday for Pope Francis's 88 years. Families in Maryland are mourning the death of Pope Francis while celebrating his life. Those a part of the St. Michael's Catholic Church in Silver Spring say that his death is a great loss for the world, and they're remembering the Pope as a caring, compassionate humanitarian. They hope the next pontiff will embody many of those same qualities. Pope Francis had a huge impact on so many marginalized communities. That includes an LGBTQ Catholic ministry in Prince George's County. Daniel Hamburg talked with someone who met the Pope a couple of times.
Getting a private meeting with the Pope is no small feat, but Francis DiBernardo has done it twice.
It was like having tea with your grandpa.
As executive director of New Ways Ministry in Mount Rainier, he and his colleagues met with Pope Francis in 2023.
He joked with us, he encouraged us, he gave us a prayer to always remember.
The ministry advocates for the LGBTQ community to build bridges and create dialogue.
I saw 2 decades worth of silence, fear, repression, anger, judgment.
With Pope Francis, he saw hope. In July 2013, Francis famously said, If someone is gay and seeks the Lord with goodwill, who am I to judge? 10 years later, he formally approved letting Catholic priests bless same-sex couples.
It was almost unbelievable whenever we would hear one of his positive steps in the right direction.
Last year, the ministry met with the Pope again, this time with an intersex woman, a transgender man, a Catholic deacon and his wife whose daughter is transgender, and a doctor who works in gender medicine.
You could see he really was a man who wanted to learn. He was open, he was listening, he was reacting, he was engaging.
It's the compassion DiBernardo will miss.
Pope Francis will be remembered as a smiling pope who really loved to be with people.
Our thanks to Daniel Hamburg, and we're going to have continuing coverage on this story throughout the afternoon. And for more of the latest anytime, visit our website, dcnewsnow.com. Developing now, the body of a missing woman has been found inside of a dumpster. 63-year-old Danella Bryan was last seen Thursday on N Street in Northeast D.C. Her body was found Saturday morning around a mile away in a dumpster on Maryland Avenue. The case has been ruled a homicide, with Bryan's cause of death being declared as blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. Now, if you have any information on this case, you're asked to contact police. In the district, a 2-alarm fire is now out with no reported injuries. Crews were called to the 1800 block of 14th Street in Southeast. The fire was in an attic space on an adjacent home. 10 people were displaced, 8 adults and 2 children, and a dog. Well, we're learning someone stole the head of Homeland Security's purse while she ate at a Southwest restaurant Sunday night. Secret Service says that the suspect made off with Christy Noem's purse. It had $3,000 in cash, her passport, and her department badge. Inside, the secretary does have Secret Service protection. It's not clear where the agents were stationed while she was having dinner with her family, including her children and grandchildren. Well, the outrage continues over the outrage continues over the deportation of a Maryland father, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Right now, 4 Democratic representatives are in El Salvador speaking out against President Trump's deportation efforts. This coming after Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador last week and met with him. He's been in the prison since March, and despite the Supreme Court ordering the administration to help facilitate his return to the U.S., the Trump administration maintains that Abrego Garcia is a gang member, but he has never been charged with a crime or gang affiliation. In the statement, his wife, Jennifer, writing, "We need Congress to keep showing up both here and abroad until justice is served and the rights of everyone are protected." Well, should Montgomery County students be able to read about books about LGBTQ plus characters? Well, that's the big discussion at the U.S. Supreme Court today, and parents and advocates on both sides are speaking out. DC News Now's Jean-Marie Sissay takes a closer look.
Yeah, now this all surrounds a small number of books in Montgomery County schools that discusses LGBTQ characters. Now, some parents want the option to be able to opt their children out of these readings, while others say children deserve to learn about all types of people. A sidewalk in front of the U.S. Supreme Court divided as 2 groups advocate for the rights of Montgomery County students.
I just want to protect them. I want to be able to parent the way God has called me to parent.
A diverse education creates spaces in which we all thrive.
Parents like Ruhi Baikada say they want to be able to opt their students out of reading books involving LGBTQ characters.
You're introducing about little kids wanting to transition to a 3-year-old that doesn't have the developmental capacity to process this thing. So it's creating a lot of stress, a lot of fear, a lot of confusion in a very young kids.
While other parents like Ali Kofi Bell say learning about these characters allows for students to learn more about everyone and creates more compassion.
For me, it's important that my children learn how to be people of the world, people who understand how the world operates. Studies show that when children read inclusive books, books that show all sorts of people, they actually become more compassionate people.
Now, the initial controversy over readings began in 2023, when parents could no longer opt their children out of reading material addressing the LGBTQ community. The school system says it actually causes more of a disruption. According to court documents, their lawyers say, quote, "Not not sex education materials, but rather tell everyday tales of characters who experience adventure, confront new emotions, and struggle to make themselves heard. And now people on both sides are relying on the Supreme Court to make a decision, and whichever that is, they say they won't stop fighting.
Creates a more loving, kind, and caring society, and then at the end of the day, we learn that we are all just people.
Just respect our choices as parents.
Reporting in Northeast D.C., I'm Yal Marissa Say, DC News Now.
All right, Marie, thank you. The Trump administration will start collecting on student loans that are now in default next month. Well, this collection period marks the end of a leniency period that began during the pandemic. Right now, more than 5 million borrowers are in default on their federal student loans, and less than 40% of the borrowers are current on their student loan. Collection begins May 5th. Also happening today, teachers and parents will meet with local lawmakers to prevent cuts to child care. This coming as they're expecting a $400 million cut coming to the district. The group is focusing on preserving the child care subsidy program and the Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund. They say that any cuts would make child care out of reach for low and middle income families. They will be meeting at the Wilson Building in Northwest at 9:30.